Hi, my name is Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. And if you're a subscriber, you know that our approach to marriage and relationships is very different than the normal mainstream. And a lot of that has to do with my background. I started out as a divorce mediator, and over 20 years ago, I made the shift, and I got to work with people who were ready to get a divorce. Because of my association, I was able to go to Second Saturday, and I was able to help people who were literally past the point of no return, and they got their marriage back. And we take great pride at the Marriage Foundation on helping people heal marriages that are past the point of no return. And it's not your fault. I like to point out to people that our society is really advanced technologically, and we know a lot about a lot of things, but we don't know much about ourselves. We don't know much about each other. If we're a woman, we don't know much about men. If we're a man, we don't know much about women. We certainly don't know about relationships. We don't discuss openly things like the fact that we are a soul who has a body and a mind, because we're afraid. Oh my God, someone's going to think I'm a religious fanatic. But there's a science to everything. There's also a science to what marriage is about. And that's what I worked on and developed, and discovered that the simplicity of why we get married should stay with us all the time. We get married for happiness. Obvious, but we don't think about it, or we would behave differently. We get married for love. Obvious. Then why do we do everything we can to destroy that love, to bury it? So this topic, what to do when your partner hurts your feelings, brings up the question about feelings. I discovered something that I guess the ancients knew, you might say, and I'm not trying to kind of impress you with that. But the problem that we have in our society is that we've been inundated with Western psychological garbage, nonsense. And there's too much of an emphasis on honoring our feelings. And what they mean by that is honoring our emotions. And the reason why is because emotions really mimic the one true feeling that we as human beings should honor, the feeling of love. But we consider love an emotion, but it's not an emotion. Love is much bigger than that. We know that. Many cultures, many religions say love is God, God is love. And love is not just an emotion. When you feel it, it's overwhelming. The mind cannot handle it. But the mind has a bunch of software within it. It's just a mind. You own your mind. You are not your mind. You're the soul. You have a mind. So it has software. It has software that allows you to interpret what comes in through the eyes as energy and translate it into pictures in the mind. You have memory, software, which is able to bring up experiences of the past, so you have a context for what's happening now. Well, emotions are also software, and what they are there for is to protect the physical brain from overload. You see, we have an instinctive reaction to various things, but let's talk about instinctive reaction to danger. What happens? Our adrenaline rises, right? A lot of enzymes are secreted into our system. Our focus changes, and the intensity, if there's something really perceived as dangerous, the intensity is enough to blow your circuits. So what happens is that instinctive, immediate reaction is handed over to emotions. So it can stay on the front burner, but now with the flame so high that it's going to kill you. That's all that emotions are. Now, you go, well, my partner hurt my feelings. You're talking about emotions. If you identify, and stay with me on this because it's really important and it's really valuable information. If you identify yourself as that emotion, that fear, that anxiety, suspicion, jealousy, resentment, feelings of sadness, depression, those are all feelings that are emotional feelings. And if we identify with them and go, I am sad, I am suspicious, I am this, I am that, you're screwed. Because you are the soul. Your mind is reacting based on its habit of reacting to different outer experiences. It is your job. Did you know, you're a human being. Did you know you're supposed to be constantly happy? You're supposed to be feeling love constantly? That's how we're designed. But the emotions interfere with that. We identify with those. They're merely informational. And then we lose our joy. We give up our peace, our happiness. So what do you do when you're feeling these things? First of all, you don't blame your partner. Their actions perhaps triggered it, and you think, my partner hurt my feelings. No, your partner behaved independently. Your receivers, which you fashioned using your free will, decided that that's painful to you. And because we have not been well educated about how the mind works, you go, my partner hurt my feelings. No. It doesn't matter what your partner did, because you're going to say, well, you have no idea what my partner did. Well, I do. They did something, whether it was intentional or unintentional, they did something. But that did not hurt your feelings. How you received the information and interpreted it, that's what hurt your feelings. Now, in my courses, I teach various techniques to handle these kinds of things because it comes in layers where you learn how to separate yourself from the feeling. So in the meantime, for instance, I have what's called the bowling ball feather technique, where you see yourself as a feather. And if a bowling ball is coming at you, what happens to the feather? The wind pushes you out of the way. The point is, you don't have to be impacted by those things that you perceive as coming at you. It's a choice. You have free will. That's the overriding strength and power, that gift that you have is free will. You can do with everything whatever you wish to do. So, it's a misnomer when you say, my partner hurt my feelings. And until you see it that way, until you get this, your feelings are always going to get hurt. You're always going to be like a ping pong ball in a coffee can, and you're never going to find your peace and happiness because your mind is ruling you, it's controlling you, and you've turned your power over to software. So my name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. By all means, you should be watching these videos so you learn more about marriage, about yourself, about your husband, about your wife, so you can enjoy life better. And if your marriage is in big trouble, you get the course for men or the course for women, and you take your marriage to that level of marital bliss where it belongs. Thank you for joining me. God bless you and take care.